Welcome everybody. In this video I am going to do a merchandise inventory income statement. A merchandise company is a little bit different than a service company because you have inventory, and this is a system using the this is a setup using the periodic system, and it's kind of a detailed income statement. I would recommend, if you're doing this, that on the other side, if you're working along, that as you do this, you get out, you find yourself a textbook or an example financial statement. For example, I'm using College Accounting: A Practical Approach by Slater. So, and this is the 12th edition, and I'm on page 473. So you can look at something like that. And what I do when I'm making this merchandise inventory statement, at first especially, is I simply pattern it after other things that have been done. And you'll notice there's a couple of columns here. There's actually 4 individual columns. On previous assignments, we have used debits and credits. That's not what's going on here. This is totals and subtotals, and we're going to subtotal quite a few things in this income statement. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So first, and I'm looking at my pattern here, and first I'm going to start with revenue. That's how we usually start these things. So we have sales, and this is $15,000. I can see here from my information over here in the problem. There's sales, and then I have less. I'm going to subtract some things: sales, returns, and allowances. I'm going to abbreviate slightly there. I'm also going to take away sales discounts. And the way that I'm going to set this up in the problem here, I'm going to put these just in this column here. And one column over, this is not my major calculation, but this, I've got these backwards here. Sales, returns, allowances, 3,300, and then sales discounts, 40,500. And then this gets net sales. And I can actually add these two things up that I'm subtracting. I'm going to put them in this column here. The total of these two here is $7,800, and I can do this on a calculator as well, so you can see what I'm doing. 3,300 plus 4,500 is 7,800. And then I'm going to subtract that from the 15,000 equals this minus this. Well, 7,200. See that here? Minus 7,800 is 7,200. And then I'm also going to put in a thick line here, and I know that I need to put this line here because I'm just following the pattern that's in my textbook. So I'm going to modify this, and I'll say there's the bottom, there's that. Let's see if it does what I want. Yes, a long line there. So now I've got my net sales. This is the amount of sales that I had, less any discounts. I don't just want to know. I do want to know how much I sold, but I also want to know how much people returned and how much of my sales was given as a discount. So now I'm going to have cost of goods sold. This is the next section. How much did all this stuff that I sell cost? And it's going to take us a little while to figure that out. It's going to take us a number of calculations. We're going to do that now. And we're going to start with beginning inventory. The first thing that we're going to work towards having is the cost of goods available for sale. There's a handout on the website that walks you through these calculations, and you can see exactly how they're figured. So first, let me do my cost of goods sold. I'm going to start here with merchandise inventory. And I should abbreviate here a little bit. This is my beginning inventory. Beginning inventory of 17,000. And sometimes this is done with, I'll say, inventory as of the beginning of the period. Maybe it'll be December 1, 2010X or whatever. But this is the beginning inventory, the inventory at the beginning of the period. And now I'm going to figure my purchases. Let me actually move this out a little bit. There, sorry if you have to erase on that one there. Beginning inventory. Now I'm going to figure my purchases. I could sell the stuff that I had on hand, or I could sell the new stuff that I just bought. And this should actually, again, sorry for the erase, be in this next column here, 1700. And then I've got purchases. How much stuff did I buy? I've got $7,000 worth of purchases. And I'm getting these numbers just straight off of here. There's my $7,000 in purchases. And now I'm going to take away and do that deduction like I did up here for sales, less purchase discounts, just 32,400. I'm also going to subtract purchase returns and allowances. And it doesn't really matter which order I put these in, which goes first. You can do it either way. So now I've got that purchase returns and allowances of 2,400. And now I'm going to subtotal these two items here. Add these together. It's 5,800. You can see that over here. There's 5,800. And now I can get to net purchases. How much did we buy after returns? Equals that minus that. Doing a little bit of subtraction here. 7,000 minus 5,800. It's 1,200. So I've got that. And I've got to put in another line here. This is going to be a thick line on the bottom. There it is. There's my net purchases. However, I paid some money to get those purchases in place. Add freight in. This is another part of my cost here. Freight in is $500. And this is going to get me the net cost of purchases. I'm going to put this in this next column over. I'm going to add my 1,200 to my 500. It's going to be 1,700. $1,700 there. Net cost of purchases. And this gets me what's called the cost of goods available for sale. This is everything that I had. If I sold everything in my stock room, we sold out of everything, this is the number that we get. And we get this number through adding the initial inventory to the net cost of purchases. It's going to be 15, I'm not right about that number here, 17,000 plus 1,700, 18,700. That plus that, 18,700. That's, if we sold everything, that's how much we'd make, or that's what would have been the cost of it. And so after that, we're gonna, of course, we didn't sell everything in the shop. There's some things that we didn't sell, and that would be our ending inventory. And again, this is one where it could, your problem might say ending inventory. It might say inventory as of the final date, but this is that number here. And it is there, that's that number here. Let me put a line in here as well. We've got the net cost of purchases, and then I'll put a line beneath that. And then ending inventory, less merchandise, less ending inventory. And this gets me the main point of what I was trying to do in this setting. The cost of goods sold. This is how much the stuff that I sold actually cost. And to get this number, I take the 18,700 and I subtract the 16,500. It's 2,200. That's how much stuff that I sold this period cost. There. And now I can figure my gross profit. This is an interesting number here because this is how much I'm making on my actual goods, the actual merchandise. This is how I'm doing. So I've got 17,200 minus 2,200 equals $5,000. I'm going to do my calculations here. $5,000. And let me go ahead and put in some lines to make it look nice. Put a line here. There's a summary. And there's a summary. Get that line there. There. That's what I need to do. Alright. So now there's my gross profit. Of course, gross profit isn't the end of the story. I've also got some other things happening here. I've also got operating expenses. And we have advertising expense. That's one. And I'll subtotal it in this second column here. Advertising expenses, $350. And then I have rent expense, which is $600. Again, I'm getting these numbers from over here. And this leads to total operating expenses. And at this point I'm running out of space on my sheet. I'll make you a longer sheet and put that on the website. Get us a little more space here. Okay, so we have a little more space here now. I've got my operating expenses and my total operating expenses. And this will let me get net income from operations, which is going to be my gross profit minus my operating expenses. It's a little bit less. You know, when we take into account paying the rent, we didn't make quite as much money. Now I've got something else as well. I've also got, pull up this problem here again, I've also got the storage fees earned. Maybe somebody was storing something in the back for us and we charged them money. And so this isn't really related to our sales of merchandise. It's not even really part of our overhead costs. This is what's called other income. And so I'm going to put this down here at the bottom. Other income. Storage fees earned. And here it is. There's just this $950. And I can subtotal it. And then after that, I can figure my net income. And if I might have other expenses as well that aren't really related to the business. This is my net income. This is the final number I'm looking for here, which is going to be my 4,050 minus my 950. See that on the calculator here? 4,050 minus 950. 3,100. That's how much I made really overall. Another line here. And again, I'm patterning this after a textbook.